Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a recipe for some s'mores cookies. These are larger graham cracker cookies. They're kind of like Crumbl style cookies with either hot fudge or my fudgie sauce recipe, which I will have linked, and some toasted marshmallows on top. So if you're a s'mores fan or want to try a new kind of cookie, make sure to follow along with this recipe and make sure to try them out. First step is to brown your butter. So you're going to take a saucepan. You can use a smaller saucepan, you don't need a huge one, but if you're worried about popping butter, you can always use a larger one. And you're going to melt your sticks of butter on about a medium-low consistency, and you are going to want to stick close to this, and you're going to want to keep an eye on it because your butter can go from that nice browned butter to burnt butter, and we don't want burnt butter for this. So you're just going to keep stirring it occasionally in the beginning until it starts to really bubble up. If it does actually bubble up a little too high, you can always lift it off the burner real quick and kind of help stir it down. That'll calm it back down a little bit. But there will be some bubbling and popping when the water is evaporating out. And then once that starts to slow down, you're really going to start getting close to the browning of the milk solids, which is really where you want to pay attention because that's where it can go from brown to burnt really fast. So once you start to notice that it's getting more of that brown caramel color, I take it off. It's always better to take it off a little bit early because obviously the heat of the pan can still cook it a little bit than to go too far and then you end up with burnt. Once you have your brown butter off the heat, you're going to pour that into a large bowl, and you're going to add your water into that. So just be cautious because your butter will bubble up with that. Next, you're going to want to line your 2 large baking sheets with parchment paper, and you're going to turn your oven to 350 degrees. In a small bowl or a small shallow bowl, you can mix together your cinnamon and your sugar to make your cinnamon sugar coating, and you're just going to go ahead and set that aside. After your brown butter has cooled for about 10 minutes, you're going to add your granulated sugar and your brown sugar to the brown butter mixture, and you're going to mix that up until nice and combined. Then you're going to add in your eggs and your vanilla extract, and again mix that. Then you're going to add in your graham cracker crumbs, your flour, your baking soda, your salt, and your cinnamon to the mixture, and again mix it up until it's nice and combined and you don't see any flour patches. Now you're going to want to put that in your fridge and leave it in there for at least about 30 minutes till it's nice and firm, because if you bake it now it will work, but your cookies will spread a lot more. So if you're on a time restraint and you need to bake these, you can go ahead and do that. Just be mindful that they'll be a little flatter and a lot wider. Once your cookies have cooled, you're going to use about a 2.5 tablespoon cookie scoop. That's like your really large one. Unless you want smaller cookies, you can use smaller, but you make more cookies. But if you want that large, like Crumbl style that everybody likes, like that larger cookie, you're going to want the large cookie scoop. You're going to go ahead and scoop out some cookie dough, kind of roll it into a ball if it's not perfect, and then you're going to roll it into the cinnamon sugar coating. You can flatten the tops, but I feel like when you do that, it tends, with this dough, it kind of makes it spread out more, so I usually just leave it in the ball shape. Then you're going to bake those for about 15 to 18 minutes, or until the cookies are nice and puffed up. You see a little bit of a crackling between the cinnamon sugar coating and the edges are nice and set. You don't want to get them completely perfectly, like just a little undercooked so they stay softer, but also you are going to put them back on the broiler so they will cook just a tiny bit more. So once your cookies have baked and you take them out of the oven, you can let them cool a little bit so they're not quite as hot, so the fudge doesn't spread as much, or you can go ahead and you can do it right away. You can either take hot fudge, like just regular hot, like a jar of hot fudge that you would get in like the Sunday aisle, or you can use my fudgie sauce recipe, which I will link up in the corner here. So you're going to go ahead and use like a large spoon and scoop that out and put it on top of all your cookies. Then you're going to want to take your marshmallows and put them on like a glass plate to microwave for about 30 seconds. You can cut them in half if you want to spread them out a little bit more, or you could put two marshmallows on a cookie, or only one, depending on how much of a marshmallow fan you are. Put them on the plate for about 30 seconds to puff up, and they start to soften. That helps them melt a little bit more, and they don't stay in that firm shape under the broiler. Once you have that, put that on top of your fudge, and you're going to place your cookies back in the oven under the broiler. You're going to want to just keep an eye on them and let the marshmallows brown until they're done to your liking. Once you take those out from under the broiler, you can go ahead and enjoy them right away while they're nice and warm, or you can let them cool down. These cookies do store great in an airtight container. They will stay great for like 10 days in an airtight container on the counter, if they last that long. So I hope you enjoyed this ooey gooey s'mores cookie. If you enjoyed watching me make this cookie, as always, don't forget to boop the like button. And if you haven't, make sure you smash the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss a recipe or tutorial. And as always, live, love, eat sweets.